Camilla brought 20 Parker Bowleses to the coronation. There were 4 Middletons. And in that moment, it was absolutely...
Camilla brought 20 Parker B's to the coronation who were 4 Middletons, and in that moment it was absolutely inaudible to those people who'd been excluded from the coronation, but nobody, let alone Kate, curtsied to Queen. The Queen appeared thrilled as she was presented the doll during a reception for women of the world at Buckingham Palace. She was given the miniature version of herself, dressed in the same outfit in recognition of her work as the organization's president. A shockwave faced by the whole world when a series of unsettling events happened inside the palace. Queen Camilla, who broke down into tears on live television announcing her resignation with shocking words, is putting the royal palace on the edge of destruction. But what really made Queen Camilla so disappointed as she leaves the place she desperately wanted her entire life was it her own health issue, King Charles's declining health, or Diana's everlasting legacy which puts pressure on her shoulders, or was it something more evil, something related to Queen Elizabeth's secret plans which were recently revealed by Princess and at a family event? Join us as we are uncovering the dark truth behind Queen Camilla's emotional breakdown, the story of power, betrayal, and the crushing weight of a crown is unfolding behind the royal palace walls. What began as a celebration for the Commonwealth soon transformed into something far darker, an omen of disaster. Queen Camilla's journey as a royal, once full of promise, now seems on the verge of unraveling. The day of the ceremony, King Charles stood before the crowd, his voice trembling as he attempted to crown Camilla. His words, meant to honor her, were delivered with such emotion that they felt more like a forewarning as his speech echoed through the hall. Queen Camilla was overcome with tears, her face contorted in a way that revealed far more than just sorrow. Her breakdown was not merely because of his words, but something deeper, an invisible pain that had been building for a long time. What could it be? The heavy burden she's carried, the public expectations, or perhaps a growing fear for the future. Now Queen Camilla, she has picked up some extra duties this year. That's obviously due to her husband's condition. Her composure had always been something she prided herself on, but in that moment it cracked. It was a sudden and public breakdown, as if the world had just witnessed the Queen's inner turmoil. Those tears spoke volumes. They weren't just for the ceremonial words of her husband, but for the intense hidden struggles she faced. Some insiders believe that her emotional collapse coincides with the deterioration of King Charles's health. Confidential reports suggest that his cancer has taken a turn for the worse, and that it's not just a medical issue, it's a royal crisis. As Charles's health continues to decline, the royal family is forced to make difficult decisions. Queen Camilla, who has been by his side through thick and thin, now finds herself in a position where her support can no longer shield her from the cracks forming around her. Her role is more fragile than ever, and people are noticing her tears are no longer just a sign of personal grief, but a reflection of the immense pressure she is under, experts watching her every move. Note that her emotional breakdown isn't the only thing raising alarms. Camilla's absence from key events and her sudden withdrawal from public life are sending shock waves through royal circles. She left one such event before it had ended, causing concern over her health and the security of the monarchy itself. The weight of the crown is a heavy burden for anyone, but it seems to be especially crushing for Camilla as tensions rise between the old guard, the loyal supporters of tradition, and the new generation led by Princess Kate Middleton and Prince William. The monarchy is on the brink of change. The younger royals are pushing for modernization, which seems to be creating a rift. Camilla, often vocal about her diminishing role in the monarchy, feels the pressure mounting as the modern world collides with the old ways. Princess, and always known for her loyalty to the crown, was reportedly shocked by Camilla's reaction to recent royal decisions. Insiders claim that during a tense confrontation at Balmoral, Princess and took a stand and questioned whether the monarchy should evolve, which would inevitably reduce Camilla's power and influence behind closed doors. Personal conversations are leaking, and it's clear the palace is in turmoil. Royal watchers are alarmed by Camilla's absence from several high-profile events, with officials citing minor health issues as the cause. However, it's becoming increasingly apparent that the Queen is retreating from public view. She's limiting her appearances and shrinking her circle of trusted confidants. This shift has fueled speculation that Camilla is struggling in ways no one outside the palace truly understands. For years Queen Camilla has fought to maintain her position and live up to the impossible standards set by her predecessor Princess Diana. The comparison between the two women has always haunted her, so a big day of pomp and policy is underway. Back in my home country of Britain, this is where King Charles III delivered a speech at the official opening of the new session of Parliament. Diana's charitable legacy continues to grow with each passing year, cementing her place in the public's heart as Camilla tries to establish her own legacy. The shadow of Diana looms large, and it's become unbearable for her. A close friend of Camilla's has even admitted that the constant comparisons with Diana have been a source of deep personal pain for the Queen. The friend revealed that Camilla, despite her best efforts, has always felt as though she is competing with Diana's unmatched popularity, a competition that only grows more intense as Diana's image continues to shine brighter in the public eye, adding fuel to the fire. There's William, Diana's son, who has captured the hearts of the public with his effortless charm and mental health advocacy. His reputation is pristine, and the public seems to love him. He has gained widespread acceptance, and his approachable nature has earned him a place in the hearts of the people, something that Camilla has struggled to achieve. Her more traditional, sometimes harsh approach to royal duties has never been as warmly received by the public. While William's popularity continues to rise, Camilla finds herself stuck in a battle with an unrelenting past, one that she can't escape. The psychological toll on Queen Camilla is becoming more and more evident every time she steps into the public eye. The media watches closely, scrutinizing every movement, every gesture, searching for signs of weakness. Her efforts to connect with the younger generation have not gone unnoticed, but they are rarely as successful as she would hope. During a recent event, Camilla attempted to engage with young beneficiaries, but her efforts were compared to the charity work of Diana, and her attempts fell short. In the eyes of many, the comparisons were unavoidable, and the public was quick to make them. This constant scrutiny has left Camilla feeling isolated. She withdrew from attending several high-profile events, citing minor health issues, but it's clear that there's more going on beneath the surface. Her absence from these events has raised questions about her well-being, and many are beginning to wonder if the pressure is simply too much for her to bear. We know that the Queen has been unwell for a number of days. Earlier this week, she was supposed to join the King for a reception at Buckingham Palace for medalists from the Paris 224 Games, and she missed that, and now we understand that she's going to miss Remembrance events. The BBC's celebration of Princess Diana's legacy has left Queen Camilla feeling utterly broken. Insiders reveal behind palace walls she spends hours alone in her private room watching documentaries and old footage of Diana, trying to understand what made her so beloved by the public. She watches the scenes unfold over and over, analyzing every moment, every smile, every act of charity that won Diana the people's hearts. But for Camilla, it always ends in tears. The comparison is unbearable. She can't escape the harsh truth that the public will never accept her in the same way. The weight of Diana's enduring popularity seems to crush her spirit, leaving her alone in her grief. The cracks in the royal facade grow deeper when King Charles expresses growing concern over Camilla's continued closeness with her ex-husband Andrew. Parker Bowes insiders say Charles is irritated by their joint appearances at public events where their body language tells a different story. One of tension experts suggests that the emotional distance between Charles and Camilla has been widening for some time now. It reaches a breaking point when at one public event Andrew bows down to Camilla in a gesture of respect, a move that doesn't go unnoticed by Charles. The king, visibly uneasy, becomes more aware of Camilla's frankness and comfort with her ex-husband, which creates a rift in their relationship. Charles grows increasingly distant, and the tension in their marriage becomes more apparent to those who are closest to them. Camilla, feeling the strain, retreats even further into herself. She limits her appearances and spends more time locked away in her private chambers, excluded from family dinners and key discussions about the monarchy when they were here in both Camilla and Charles when he was still prince. Of course, it was back in 2012. I had to cover it for the ABC. One of they visit royal staff begin to worry as they notice Camilla's isolation growing. Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, once A close ally of Camilla's now seems tense and distant, as if the bond between them has quietly unraveled. The Queen Consort has become a shadow of her former self, and those around her are beginning to question whether the pressure is simply too much to bear. Camilla's absence from informal family gatherings only deepens the worry she spends little time with her children or grandchildren, choosing instead to remain holed up in her own house for days on end. Her once vibrant presence in the palace is now a distant memory, replaced by a cold silence that signals a deeper breakdown. This isolation is a loud unspoken cry for help, but it goes unnoticed by many. Just when it seems like things couldn't get worse, another shock wave hits the palace princess, and known for her loyalty to the crown, makes a revelation that could further shatter Camilla's already fragile image, and speaks of Queen Elizabeth's vision for the monarchy, and it sends ripples through the royal family. The Queen had always believed in Catherine, now Princess of Wales, and saw in her all the characteristics necessary for a modern monarchy. Queen Elizabeth's plan had been clear. Catherine was destined for a greater role, one with more responsibility. Even before William was set to become king, Camilla listens to the revelation in disbelief, her heart sinking as she realizes what it means. Her worst fears are confirmed. Queen Elizabeth had been grooming Catherine for a specific purpose, and it wasn't just a matter of chance. Camilla's role in the monarchy, once assured, now feels tenuous. The thought that Catherine, with her fresh and modern approach, was being prepped to take on more responsibility left Camilla uneasy and deeply distressed. She had worked so hard to build her own identity and reputation, only to discover that her place in the monarchy may have always been secondary. The king's health could be worse than we think. The fact that Tom has said he's going to Christmas in the past he's usually spent it with his sister Camilla sometimes in the afternoon, has driven from Sandringham down to London. In the midst of this, more details about Queen Elizabeth's plans begin to surface. It becomes clear to Camilla that the Queen had carefully crafted Catherine's future with a sense of purpose. Catherine's understanding of social media, her ability to connect with the younger generation, her effortlessly modern approach, all these things made her the perfect candidate to lead the monarchy into the future. For Camilla, this realization is a gut punch. She spent years trying to define herself, trying to make her mark as a royal, yet now it feels as though she was never meant to stand at the center of the royal family's future. The very foundation of her royal role begins to crumble beneath her feet. Camilla's distress is palpable. Staff members once loyal to her now seem to be gravitating toward Catherine's team, further deepening the divide. What once felt like a close-knit circle of support now seems to be splitting apart. The tension between Camilla and Catherine is undeniable. Every time the two women cross paths, there's an undercurrent of strain, as if the very air between them crackles with unresolved conflict. Camilla feels the walls closing in, and with every passing day she realizes that she no longer has the trust and support she once enjoyed. Her once strong connection to the Queen has been eroded, and the realization that she was never fully trusted by Queen Elizabeth leaves her feeling utterly alone. The plans that had been put in motion years ago to elevate Catherine have come to light, and Camilla feels as though she has been left behind. The weight of the crown, once a symbol of her power and influence, now feels like an unbearable burden. It's as though she is watching the monarchy she worked so hard to be a part of slip away from her grasp. Her heart aches as she comes to terms with the reality that the future she had once imagined is no longer hers to claim. As the tension between Camilla and Catherine rises, the cracks in the royal family's unity become more visible. What was once a picture-perfect monarchy now feels fractured and uncertain, and for Camilla, the battle for acceptance for a place in the royal future seems like an impossible fight. Her world, once so secure, is slowly slipping away. The emotional toll is too much for her to bear, and as each new revelation hits, the weight of it all becomes harder and harder to carry. We were just told that they have rushed off to Balmoral, which is in the north of Scotland, to be with Her Majesty the Queen. The mounting pressure on Queen Camilla is starting to take a serious toll on her health. Her ICL team is closely monitoring her as her list of health issues continues to grow. Chronic fatigue, osteoporosis, anxiety, and panic attacks are now part of her daily battle. Doctors have advised her to reduce her workload, but attending royal events has become a challenge she can't escape. Preparing for these events takes hours, and often by the time she arrives she's already exhausted. Despite This she pushes through, always putting on a brave face for the public behind. Closed doors. Royal staff reveal that Camilla spends entire afternoons in her darkroom trying to manage the stress that's eating away at her. The strain is unbearable and she retreats to her private sanctuary to find relief from the pressures of the day. To make matters worse, Camilla is still dealing with the lingering effects of long COVID. Her fatigue, brain fog, and a host of other symptoms are all reminders of the virus she battled months ago. Her medical team believes these ongoing symptoms are long-term side effects, making her daily life even harder to navigate at public events. Her deteriorating health has become painfully evident. Those who watch her closely have noticed her struggle to stay focused. She often seems drained, unable to maintain her usual composure. Her reliance on written notes has become a crutch, and it's clear to anyone paying attention that she's not the same vibrant woman she once was, but she presses on, always standing beside her husband King Charles, supporting him through his own health battles. It's a crushing weight on Camilla's shoulders, trying to maintain her role as a supportive wife while her own body is failing her. She's caught between her husband's struggle with his declining health and the overwhelming pressure of being the Queen Consort. The stress is mounting, and it's clear that she needs time to rest and recover, but there's no time for rest in her royal life as Camilla's health worsens. Royal officials are faced with a decision that could change the monarchy forever. Behind closed doors, the debate grows heated. Senior members of the royal family urge King Charles to be more understanding, to give Camilla the space she desperately needs, but the team surrounding Prince William is pushing for a bold new direction, one that may not include Camilla in the same capacity. We've had a short statement from Buckingham Palace confirming the Queen's condition. It simply reads, Her Majesty the Queen is currently unwell with a chest infection for which her doctors have advised a short period of rest. The tension between the two factions is palpable, and the future of the royal family seems uncertain. In the midst of all this, a senior royal staff member reveals something devastating. Camilla, in a rare moment of vulnerability, is found crying, her body trembling, in her private room. She's staring at old photos of herself, happy times before all the pain and pressure took hold of her life. Her once calm, composed demeanor has been shattered, and she seems lost, uncertain of what the future holds. The grief that's been building for years has finally overwhelmed her, and she can no longer keep up the charade. The breaking point comes at a children's hospital ceremony where Camilla is expected to cut the ceremonial ribbon. Her hands shake uncontrollably, her anxiety palpable, and she's seen relying on her medication to steady her nerves. Her health is no longer something she can hide, and it's becoming impossible to maintain her royal duties. Everyone around her is noticing the toll it's taking, and the whispers are growing louder inside the royal palace. Camilla sits with King Charles in a private discussion. Her voice trembles as she speaks, filled with grief and the weight of years of stress. I can't take it anymore, she says, her words raw with emotion. The pain of her health issues, the pressure of her role, and the years of living in Diana's shadow have finally caught up with her. It's too much to bear, and she knows she can't continue down this path. Camilla's decision is made. She will step down. She calls for a press conference, and the royal world holds its breath. Her makeup artist later reveals that strangely Camilla is calm before the address, but when royal officials arrive they find her alone in her room, quietly saying, I can't carry it anymore. The weight of her resignation shakes the palace to its core. Her departure raises more questions than answers. Will King Charles step down? As well, will Catherine, the Princess of Wales, take her place? Will the monarchy ever be the same again? The world watches, waiting for what will happen next. Camilla's resignation marks the end of an era. The ripple effects of her decision will be felt for years to come. The future of the British monarchy hangs in the balance, and no one knows for sure what direction it will take. For Camilla, the decision to step away from her role as Queen Consort is one of the hardest things she's ever done, but it's the only way she can find peace. Duties demanded careful choreography for her part. Camilla appeared to accept her outsider status within the family, recognizing that a meaningful bond with her stepsons might never materialize. Despite her efforts to bridge the gap, Camilla remained on the periphery. Of Harry and William's lives the lingering resentment, particularly from Harry, underscored the complexities of their blended royal family, while Camilla fulfilled her royal obligations with composure. The emotional distance between her and Diana's sons became a permanent feature of their relationship. a divide too wide to mend. We discussed how Harry and William tried to stop their father from marrying Camille in 2005 despite their attempts. The wedding went ahead. In his memoir, Harry gives us a glimpse into his feelings during that time. Feelings many stepchildren might relate to. He describes the challenges he faced adjusting to his father's new marriage. One memory, likely from the late 90s, highlights Harry's anxiety. The Duke of Sussex is opening up about his life and telling Oprah Winfrey how therapy has helped him get to a better place. Firstly, I had a fear of when I first went to therapy. He worried that Camilla might be unkind to him, much like the stepmothers in the fairy tales he grew up reading. William too seemed wary of the other woman, as Harry refers to her. He shares an anecdote about how when he moved out of Clarence's house at 28, Camilla swiftly turned his old bedroom into her dressing room as though she had been waiting for that moment. Beyond these personal experiences, Harry has used his book and interviews to critique Camilla's actions. He accused certain members of the royal family of striking deals with the press to improve their public image, what he describes as getting into bed with the devil. Harry specifically points to Tsila, alleging that she leaked private family details to the media in exchange for favorable coverage in the Spar. Harry also claims that during his teenage years his father's team, including Camilla's PR staff, intentionally leaked stories about his struggles with substance use. This, he believes, was done to portray King Charles as a compassionate parent, helping to bolster his image during a turbulent time. In 2019, tensions reportedly flared when William discovered that stories about him, Kate, and their children were being leaked by Charles and Camilla's staff. Frustrated, William is said to have remarked, "Give them an inch and they take a mile," during an interview with Anderson Cooper. Harry labeled Camilla as dangerous because of her media connections. He alleged that her climb to becoming Queen Consort came at a cost. Once known as the other woman, Camilla is now the queen kind of the new king's darling wife, has become the Queen Consort. I know she will bring to the demands of her new role the steadfast devotion to duty with others in the family being sacrificed along the way. According to Harry, in a family driven by hierarchy, leaving casualties behind was simply part of the process. Camilla the villain and rising power in the royal family. Harry didn't mince words when he described Camilla as the villain in the third person in his parents' marriage. This mirrors Diana's iconic remark from her 1995 interview where she said, "There were three of us in this marriage." Harry revealed his mixed emotions about having a stepmother, especially one he believed undermined the family to boost her image. He wrote about his unease, saying he felt Camilla had sacrificed the royal family on her PR altar. Still, Harry acknowledged he wished Camilla happiness, thinking it might make her less harmful. Royal expert Christopher Anderson once commented on Camilla's discomfort around William and Harry, describing their bond as purely circumstantial, lacking a natural connection. Biographer Robert Jobson shared a striking incident highlighting the tension during a convoy at Windsor Castle. William and Kate were late to join Charles and Camilla. Frustrated, Camilla insisted they leave without them as Charles's motorcade pulled away. William and Kate walked out only to see the convoy disappearing. To William, it felt deliberate. It served as a reminder of where he stood in the hierarchy. While he eventually tolerated Camilla, resentment lingered. William's loyalty to his mother remained unwavering, and seeing Camilla beside Charles brought back painful memories to him. She symbolized a shadow over Diana's legacy. Meanwhile, King Charles finds himself caught between his wife and sons. Insiders say Charles is under immense pressure, not just from family tensions, but also his health concerns. Reports suggest Harry longs to return home but faces resistance from Camilla. Sources claim she has taken a firm stance against welcoming Harry and Meghan back into the family. She allegedly even barred her from visiting Charles or staying at royal residences without prior approval, catching Charles off guard. This move reportedly triggered a major argument between Charles and Camilla, straining their relationship. While some suggest Camilla is open to reconciliation, others believe she still harbors no affection for her stepsons. William and Harry are said to be wary of her growing influence within the palace. Some insiders claim Camilla now holds significant power, particularly since Charles reduced his royal duties due to health reasons. Reports say Camilla even encouraged Charles to adopt a tougher stance in family matters despite his guilt over past parenting decisions while reconciliation is possible. Sources suggest it would only happen under conditions set by Charles. Conditions Camilla may not entirely support. The conflict between King Charles and Camilla isn't limited to his strained relationship with William and Harry. Camilla was reportedly unhappy when Charles revealed his prostate enlargement and cancer diagnosis earlier this year. We've received breaking news from Buckingham Palace, which has announced that the king has been diagnosed with cancer, according to Robert Jobson, author of King Charles III. The Man and the Monarch revealed Charles went public with his health condition despite Camilla's objections. Encouraged by his children, the king saw it as an opportunity to inspire others to seek medical help for similar symptoms. The differences between Charles and Camilla extend beyond serious issues like his health. Camilla's sister Annabel Elliot described the couple as having opposing personalities, which sometimes leads to amusing disputes. For example, their ongoing argument about whether to keep the bedroom windows open at night is a frequent point of contention. According to Annabel, he'll open it and she'll sneak in behind to close it, while Camilla might lose the window battles. Annabel notes that she tends to win in other aspect of their marriage. Despite these differences, Camilla's influence within the royal family continues to grow. However, her relationship with William and Harry has remained distant. The princes have struggled to reconcile their feelings toward the woman they believe caused pain to their mother. Insiders claim that rebuilding trust with Camilla seems impossible for the brothers. Publicly, they maintain appearances with polite smiles, but behind closed doors the tension lingers. Camilla has come to accept that her bond with her stepchildren will never go beyond a cold, formal relationship. For now, the royal family moves forward as if everything is fine. Yet the quiet resentment between William, Harry, and Camilla continues to cast a shadow over their interactions. In recent months, Prince Harry has reportedly begun exploring ways to reconnect with the United Kingdom and reintegrate into royal life after several years of public estrangement and private disputes. These efforts signal a potential shift in Harry's approach. However, his attempts are not without challenges, with Queen Camilla reportedly acting as one of the primary obstacles to his plans. Sources suggest that she has been steadfast in her opposition to Harry's return to the royal household, further straining the already tense relationship between him and the royal family. According to the Mail on Sunday, Harry has been reaching out to former royal aides, trusted friends, and confidants who played key roles during his time as a working royal. These conversations indicate his intent to rebuild connections in British social circles and mend the bridges that have been damaged over time. Insiders say Harry has also expressed dissatisfaction with the advice he has received while living in the United States and is now seeking guidance from those who once supported him within the UK. Prince Harry's also been talking at the Deal Book Summit in New York, and he talked about why he won't be ditching the US and returning to the UK. One source noted Harry is beginning to see that the current approach isn't working. Part of this shift involves distancing himself from Hollywood publicists and media advisors instead of relying on the more commercial, celebrity-focused counsel he's received in the US. Harry appears to be turning back to a network of individuals who understand the intricacies of royal life. This decision has fueled speculation that Harry is not only reconsidering his role as a public figure but also contemplating a return to his royal roots. Despite these efforts, one of the biggest hurdles remains Queen Camilla. Sources claim she has voiced strong opposition to Harry's return, citing concerns about potential disruptions to the royal household. Camilla's firm stance underscores the lingering tensions between her and Harry, which have been exacerbated by his public criticisms of her in recent years. Her resistance has reportedly caused friction with King Charles, who was said to be caught between supporting his son and maintaining harmony with his wife. To strengthen his position, Harry has reportedly been reaching out to old friends via WhatsApp, sending friendly messages to rekindle relationships that had grown distant. Some of these friends loyal to Harry are reportedly assisting him in his efforts to reintegrate into British society. He wants to carve out a way back into royal life back in the UK, and is seeking counsel from old friends and associates. This initiative has been informally dubbed Operation Bring Harry in from the Cold by those involved, reflecting the strategic nature of his attempts to rebuild his reputation and Re-established ties. Insiders speculate that Harry's motivations for a potential return extend beyond personal relationships. His ventures in the United States, including media deals and public appearances, have faced criticism and mixed reception. The strain of navigating these challenges may have prompted to re-evaluate his approach, considering a return to the UK as a means of restoring stability and balance in his life. Nevertheless, the road to reconciliation is far from straightforward. Queen Camilla's opposition remains a significant barrier, and the strained relationships with his father and brother add further complexity. While Harry has shown a willingness to make amends, it is unclear whether the royal family will fully embrace his overtures. Reports suggest that while King Charles is open to dialogue, any reconciliation would likely happen on his terms, a dynamic that could create additional hurdles for Harry. Ultimately, Harry's recent actions reflect a genuine desire to reconnect with his family and move forward from the tensions of the past. His efforts to rekindle old relationships and seek guidance from his former network signal a clear intention to carve out a new path. However, the success of these efforts will depend on how the royal family responds and whether lingering tensions can be resolved. For now, Harry appears to be making his case to return one conversation at a time as he carefully navigates the complex dynamics of royal life. Prince Harry's ongoing struggles. A source revealed that Prince Harry is reportedly feeling increasingly isolated in California, prompting him to reconnect with old friends in the UK. While these efforts signal his intent to reintegrate into British social circles, it's clear that tensions with Queen Camilla remain a significant hurdle. Reports suggest that King Charles is open to mending his relationship with Harry, but their reconciliation is complicated by a variety of ongoing issues, including Harry's legal disputes. Charles's coronation is just over a week away, but as the royals prepare for this historic moment, Prince Harry's legal battle with the UK media is heating up. One of the key obstacles is Harry's legal battle with the British government over his security arrangements. After stepping back from royal duties in 2020, the Home Office reduced his level of protection, which led Harry to file a legal challenge while he lost the case. Harry intends to appeal. Royal insiders claim that King Charles would prefer for Harry to abandon the case entirely, as it adds further strain to the family dynamic. Adding to the tension, Harry has also filed lawsuits against several major British tabloids, accusing them of unlawful information gathering in a shocking twist. Harry reportedly believes that Queen Camilla was the source of much of the leaked information. This claim has caused friction between Harry and his father, as King Charles has not supported Harry's legal efforts. In fact, Harry revealed that his father warned him against pursuing the lawsuits, describing them as a suicide mission. Another looming issue is the upcoming paperback release of Harry's controversial memoir Spare. The initial publication already contained harsh criticisms of Queen Camilla, and there is speculation that the paperback edition could include new chapters or updates that may escalate tensions further. Insiders fear that these editions could include even stronger accusations against Camilla, potentially reigniting the family feud. While no one can predict how the strained relationships within the royal family will evolve, it is clear that a resolution is far from imminent. Harry's legal battles, coupled with the ongoing tension between him and Camilla, present significant barriers to reconciliation. What are your thoughts on Queen Camilla's relationship with Prince Harry? Do you think there's hope for peace, or will the divide only deepen? Let us know in the comments. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and for more content, check out the next video on your screen.